Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today for this webinar called The Author's Journey, Publishing and Promoting Your Book on Amazon. And this is important because the first time I published a book on Amazon, it took me over a year to write the book and then get it published. It was really a long process. And subsequent to that, every book that I've written has gone a little bit smoother. I've written 5 books now. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But, now I'm working on my 6th book. It's going to be an improvement on my first book called Back Pain. I'm a chiropractor with 30 years of experience, but I love writing books, and I'm going to tell you more about that as we go along here. So just going to shut my camera off. I'll come back to you guys a little bit later so we can focus on the presentation. And thank you for joining me here on Instagram as well. My name is Dr. Cary Yurkiw. I'm a health professional. I've been practicing for 30 years now. I've been writing for just over 5 years, and I published 5 books now on Amazon. They are in print format, ebook, as well as the audiobook. And the audiobook has done really well compared to the print and the ebooks, which gives me a new strategy for this book going forward, where I'm going to make it more in a conversational tone and more audiobook friendly. And I'll tell you more about that as we go along today too. About 5 years ago, maybe 6 now, I decided I wanted to write a book. And I thought, well, I'll write a book on something I know a lot about, and that is back pain. So I wrote that book. I thought it went really well. I didn't know a lot about making book covers or how to do an audiobook. So that was a learning experience. I struggled at times, made mistakes, but did get it published. And I was really excited about that. I had some family help. My mother-in-law, she's an editor, and she helped to edit the book. And that was a really great experience to go through. And then the next book I wrote is on neck pain. Which is actually my best-selling book, the second one I wrote. It talked about headaches and concussions, whiplash, and it was a really interesting book to write. At some point, maybe next year, I'll get around to updating that book as well, with some graphic images and a better cover. But those were the first 2 books that I wrote, and then subsequent to that, I've written 3 more. So those books included the 100-day diet, and it's about weight loss, how I ended up losing over 30 pounds in 100 days. I talked about joint journey. It's kind of a fictional account of 2 patients that present to my clinic and need to get treatment, but also lifestyle changes to help them on their journey. So I introduced them to different health professionals. Those health professionals give them advice on different aspects of the joint journey. And that was really interesting to write because it had a lot of nonfiction in it, but also some fiction because I had to make up the characters and present them in a way that they came to the clinic and interacted with me and other health professionals. And then Success in Private Practice, that was a B2B book for other health professionals that want to open their own practice and manage that. I think it's important to understand your audience. So you have to know your target audience. And sometimes I refer to that as your avatar. So you really want to know who your avatar is, who's going to be reading your book, and you want to cater to them. You want to keep them in your mind as far as who you're talking to, and niche down the book as much as you can to really make it so that that person finds your book interesting, gets value from it, and wants to continue reading it. So there's methods to gather demographic information and create reader personas. So you can go online, you can use simple things like Google to help you with some of the keywords and some of the demographics. You can do some different tests, and I'll share that with you in a few slides, like writing blog posts and watching your analytics you can also do a webinar like this one and see what kind of turnout you have and what kind of feedback you get. So the audience insights will help guide you on your marketing strategy. I wouldn't go out and hire someone to do marketing for your book. I'd be very careful of phone calls you're going to get from publishers. In general, they're scams. So I'd be really careful of any kind of solicitation. Just go out there, get the best advice you can, use some tools, and just get going with the book. You kind of have to get your hands dirty at some point and then just get into it, and you're going to learn from experience. I think it's important to learn or look at your competitors to learn as well. So go on Amazon, look at your niche of your book. For me, it's nonfiction, it's medical, and it's on spine or joint pain or back pain. So it's very specific. So go into your category, niche it down, look at your competitors, look at the ones who are the top sellers. So you can search the top sellers on Amazon and then get a good idea of what they've written. Even get their book. You can get it from the library, you can buy it or get the audiobook. Listen to what they're saying, the language, the chapter titles. Really pay attention to that to give you some guidance on how you can write your book. What makes their book special, and then how you can stand out in that niche market. Maybe you have a different perspective. Maybe you have some knowledge that they don't, and that could make your book very special. Now, keyword optimization. Keywords are important in book titles, subtitles, and descriptions. So I would work with some of that material. I would call it SEO or keyword optimization. You want to make sure that your book is attractive. When people search for a keyword like back pain, your book's going to come up, and you want to use these keywords in your title, in your subtitle, and in your description. There are lots of tools for keyword research. I would use some of the free ones, like the Google one I shared with you. There's some other ones as well. You don't have to pay a lot of money to get some keyword research. And then you want to integrate those keywords into your book so that it's easy to search for your book, for people to find it and to purchase it. Now, you might want to write some blog articles. I'll talk about that in a minute, just to test out some of your concepts. Now, when you're ready, you're going to start a profile on Amazon. It's called Author Central. And you're going to set up an account. You're going to go to Author Central. You'll be able to connect with readers and other book writers there. It'll give you some templates you can use to start writing your book. Follow those templates, whether they're on Word. I think they give Word and a PDF template. I use the Word one. And just start writing, kind of writing over top of their template to get started with your first chapter, with the book title, with the preface. Just kind of use their format, because later you're going to have to upload that, and it's going to make it a lot easier so it doesn't have a lot of errors or margin problems like formatting issues. So I would use the templates that Amazon gives you. They try to make it easy for you to be an author, and there's other authors there that will be able to help you as well. And then you'll be able to track your sales. In that area, you'll be able to promote your book too and do marketing in the Author Central area. If you're doing an audiobook, that's a different platform called Audible. It's Amazon's company as well, but you have to go into acx.com, and then that's where you're going to upload your audiobook. You can link it to the paperback. There are some benefits of joining like KDP, which is allowing people to read your book if they're signed up for Kindle Unlimited. I think for new authors, signing up for KDP is good. People will read pages of your book. You're going to get prorated royalties from the pages that they read. I wouldn't be too greedy at the start. I would actually take those incentives, allow Amazon to highlight your book at times, and to give some free promotions. Usually they give codes as well, so you can share your ebook as you're launching. So you can send out, I think there's 50 codes that you can send out to people to be able to access your book. And of course, you're going to want to promote it and on social media. You're going to want to talk a lot about it, do blog articles, all of those things to promote your book. Now, create compelling content. Test out your content via blog posts, newsletters, on social media. See what people are saying. Ask them questions. See what their comments are like. See what the DMs are like coming back to you. And then, if there's any tips for writing engaging content from your readers or from other writers, then consider those tips. Storytelling techniques are very important to connect with readers. The material has to be interesting, but it also has to be informative. It all depends on the genre you're writing in. For mine, it has to be a little bit more informative, but you still want to tell a story, make it interesting for people as well. You could also host a webinar on Eventbrite like I'm doing right now. This is a great way to interact with people, to get them on your mailing list, to sell some tickets and do some master classes, some follow-ups. It gives you an opportunity to kind of take the people that are joining you down to the next step, which could be some paid content. It could be some one-on-one coaching. It could be a group. You could start a group that may want to interact with you. So you can share your ideas, get feedback, get more followers, and then evolve as a writer. AI, very controversial, but I like it. I use it. And so like ChatGPT, you could use it like an assistant. And I'll tell you how I'm writing this next book, the tools I'm using on the next slide. But it does a very good job as an editor. It's getting better with graphics now. You can prompt it and give it information. It has a memory, can memorize key information about you, so you don't have to re-enter it. And if you have the right prompts and you give it some descriptors, it can really help you to expand your content. And so what I'm doing with this book that I'm writing right now on back pain, kind of the second edition of back pain, is I'm using a transcription tool called Otter, where I asked ChatGPT to make an outline based on my last book. And I said I wanted to make it more interesting, sell more copies, use some graphics. It put together an outline for me, and then I asked it to expand on the outline to give me some talking points. Then I went into Otter and I turned it on so it could transcribe my thoughts. So I was talking to it much like I'm talking to you right now. And as I was talking to it, it was transcribing it. I took that transcription, put it back into the AI, ChatGPT, and said, I want to expand the content. Can you double the content, keep the same tone, and just help me to get more, expand the volume, more words. So it did a good job of adding some adjectives and adverbs, and really helped me to double the volume and the content. Then you can run through your manuscript using AI to edit and to expand or condense the material, and it'll help you to, again, be able to read it out, flesh it out, and get you to the point where you've got a manuscript, a good manuscript to upload. Now, by doing events and doing blog posts, you can expand your email list. So you can grow your email list from ticket sales, like for Eventbrite. You can add people to your email list, let them know when you're doing another webinar, when your book's going to launch, when you're going to do a masterclass. All very important for you to develop as an author. And you can use some automation tools to maintain regular communication. That would be like email sequences that you can use. There's some really cheap programs out there that you can get just to get started. And then you can upgrade so that you can keep your followers up to date. Now, if you have any questions, I would encourage you to write in the comments here. You can also type in the chat. I'd be happy to answer those questions for you. If you're watching the recording of this, you can definitely type in the chat. I'll come back to check on you and see what kind of questions that you do have. The questions are valuable to me as well because it lets me know what you're thinking, gives me some feedback as well. If you're interested in the books that I've written, you can go to Amazon and type in back pain and my name, Dr. Cary Yurkiw, or these titles, Neck Pain, 100-Day Diet, Success in Private Practice, and Joint Journey. And you'll be able to get either an ebook, you can get the paperback. There's a hardcover for the last one, Joint Journey. And then there's the ebook, the ACX version on Audible. And they are also in the KDP program, so you can just read them, much like borrowing a library book. So there's different ways that you can read my content and get exposed to that. If you're interested in the masterclass from idea to publication, that'll be coming up next Monday. You can go back to Eventbrite where you got a ticket for this event and then get the masterclass ticket. In the masterclass, it'll be a different format where it'll be like a Zoom call. People can participate, put up your hand, interact with me during that masterclass. So it's a little bit different. There's a fee for that masterclass, and it's much more interactive. So feel free to get a ticket for that coming up this coming Monday. So for your next steps, join the masterclass. You can buy or go into the KDP program to read my book. You can go to our website, trueexpert.pro. I'll give you the contact information in a minute. Or you can even sign up for one-on-one coaching where you can get extra help from me on how to take your dreams and goals and start going down that path to publication. Here's our contact info. Website is trueexpert.pro. Our email address is info@trueexpert.pro, and our phone number 778-215-9310. I want to thank you for joining me today for this webinar. I hope you learned something about becoming an author, writing your first book, how you get it published, different methods to publish. It's kind of from 5 years ago to now, I've learned a lot, and there's many more tools that you can use, like AI or transcription tools, that can really help you to develop your skills and to improve your writing. So thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to talking to you soon.